The little pink cake box was already sitting on the bakery counter when the woman quietly pushed it back toward the cashier. Her hands trembled as she forced a weak smile that couldn't hide the heartbreak in her eyes. Outside, people walked past laughing with shopping bags in their hands, completely unaware that somewhere across town, a 7-year-old boy was waiting for a birthday cake that would never arrive. Standing near the window with a cup of coffee, a single father noticed everything. He wasn't trying to listen, but sometimes pain speaks louder than words. What happened next would change two families forever. Before we begin, if you believe that kindness can still change lives and that everyone deserves a second chance, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to Kindness Corner, and share it with someone who believes in compassion. We'd also love to know where you're watching from, so leave your city and country in the comments below. Every morning, Owen Mercer stopped by Maple Hearth Bakery after dropping his 9-year-old daughter, Harper, at school. Ever since losing his wife 4 years earlier to an unexpected illness, those quiet mornings with fresh coffee had become the only peaceful part of his day before juggling work, school pickups, laundry, homework, and everything else that came with raising a child alone. Life had taught Owen how quickly ordinary days could become unforgettable. Because of that, he had developed a habit of paying attention to people who looked like they were silently carrying the weight of the world. That Tuesday morning, the bakery smelled of fresh bread, cinnamon rolls, and warm butter. Families laughed over breakfast, elderly couples shared newspapers, and soft music floated through the room. Yet one woman seemed completely disconnected from the cheerful atmosphere. She stood at the counter clutching her purse with both hands while staring at the large pink cake box prepared for pickup. Her name was Marissa Hale. She looked no older than 35, dressed neatly in a gray blazer that had clearly seen better days. Her eyes were swollen from lack of sleep, and every few seconds she swallowed hard as though trying to keep herself from crying. The young bakery employee apologized softly while explaining that the order had already been prepared. Marissa slowly shook her head. She opened her wallet, counted a few bills, then closed it again. There wasn't enough. After several long seconds, she quietly asked if the order could simply be canceled. No anger. No excuses. Just quiet defeat. The employee looked genuinely sorry but explained that because the custom cake had already been decorated with her son's name, they couldn't refund the deposit or sell it easily. Marissa nodded with surprising grace. She thanked the employee for understanding, apologized for wasting everyone's time, and gently pushed the beautiful birthday cake back across the counter. Then she turned toward the exit. Owen couldn't stop watching. Something about the way she walked reminded him of the weeks after his wife passed away, moving forward because there was no other choice, even though every step felt heavier than the last. As she reached the door, he noticed a folded birthday invitation slipping from her purse onto the floor. He picked it up before she realized. The front showed colorful balloons surrounding handwritten words. "Happy 7th birthday, Mason." Inside was a small drawing made by a child. A smiling stick figure stood beside a giant birthday cake covered in candles. At the bottom were carefully written words that instantly tightened Owen's chest. "This is going to be the best birthday ever." He hurried outside and handed the invitation back. Marissa accepted it with embarrassed gratitude, trying to smile despite the tears beginning to form. Without asking questions, Owen simply wished her son a happy birthday. She thanked him politely before walking toward an aging blue sedan parked across the street. For several minutes, Owen remained standing on the sidewalk, watching her drive away. He couldn't forget the drawing. Or the excitement hidden inside those childish words. As he returned to the bakery, the untouched birthday cake still rested on the counter. Bright blue frosting. Colorful balloons. Mason turned 7. The employee sighed. She explained that Marissa had been a regular customer years ago when her husband was still alive. After he died in a construction accident almost 3 years earlier, things slowly became harder. She worked 2 jobs, rarely bought anything for herself, and had spent weeks saving for the birthday cake. But the previous night, her car needed emergency repairs just to keep her job. Every dollar she had disappeared overnight. She had chosen transportation over birthday candles. The decision broke everyone's heart. Owen quietly looked at the cake. Then he looked at the bakery employee. Without hesitation, he paid for the entire cake. The cashier smiled, assuming he wanted to surprise his own daughter. Instead, Owen asked for the receipt and one simple favor. He didn't want Marissa to know who had bought it. The employee blinked in surprise. Owen simply shrugged. He understood something many people forgot. Receiving help is difficult. Receiving help while keeping your dignity is priceless. Using the phone number on the original order, the bakery manager called Marissa and explained that there had been a misunderstanding. A local community kindness program had unexpectedly covered the remaining balance, and the cake was waiting for pickup after all. Marissa was speechless. She insisted there must be some mistake. The manager kindly assured her everything had already been taken care of. An hour later, she returned. This time her hands were shaking for an entirely different reason. She held the pink cake box against her chest as though it contained something far more valuable than frosting and candles. Before leaving, she quietly cried in the parking lot. Not because someone had solved all her problems, but because, for the first time in months, life had shown her a little mercy. Owen watched everything from inside his parked truck across the street. He smiled. Then drove away. He believed the story had ended there. He was wrong. That evening, Harper asked if they could deliver extra groceries they had collected during a neighborhood food drive. Owen agreed immediately. As they sorted donation boxes at the local community center, one volunteer mentioned a recently widowed mother struggling to provide for her young son. The address sounded strangely familiar. It was the same neighborhood where he had watched Marissa drive earlier that day. Without realizing it, kindness had quietly begun drawing two completely different families toward the same path. Sometimes the smallest act doesn't end when we walk away. Sometimes it becomes the first chapter of a story we never expected to be part of. If this story has touched your heart so far, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to Kindness Corner, and share it with someone who still believes kindness matters. Your support helps these stories reach people who may need hope today. Special request: before you leave, comment with just one word: kindness. Let's fill the comments with a reminder that even the smallest act of compassion can change someone's life. As Owen drove home that night beside his smiling daughter, neither of them realized that buying a birthday cake had done far more than save one little boy's celebration. It had restored a mother's faith that strangers could still care, reminded a grieving father why his late wife always believed generosity should never wait, and quietly planted the seeds of a friendship that would transform both families in ways no one could have imagined. Sometimes the greatest miracles don't arrive with applause or recognition. Sometimes they begin with a simple decision to notice someone else's pain, and to do something about it before walking away.